Hello, my name is Shelly. I'm a student at Alvernia University where I will graduate of May of this year. I'm in my second half of my student teaching where I'm in a learning support classroom with kindergartners and first graders, and I completed my first half with a room of first grade in regular education. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to look over this video, and I do want to apologize in advance for my nasally congested voice. I do have a sinus infection. I believe that education needs to be diverse. It needs to meet the needs of all the students in the classroom. In the article, there is a quote that says, if kids are confident in their abilities, they are willing to work harder and be more creative. In order to get the kids confident, you need to be able to make them understand the education, and the only way we can do that is making the education diverse. Giving them the education that they need in a way that they understand, in a way that they like. I also feel like education needs to be flexible. A teacher just can't take a big box and divide it by the months and put the materials that they need for each month, and then every year pull out those same materials and use that same materials to teach the same stuff. Obviously, our content is going to basically be the same year to year. However, I feel how we teach it needs to be flexible because our classroom changes year to year. Our students change. The environment changes. So education needs to be flexible in order to meet the needs of the students. And then I also think education needs to be relatable, and it needs to appeal to the children. Children always ask why. Why do I need to do this? Why do I need to know this? And I feel it's important to keep the kids motivated to want to learn. And in order to do that, we need to provide them with that why. We are learning to add because it'll help us when we go to the store to buy groceries, or when we go to the store to buy clothes, or even if it's just as simple as when a child is learning how to count at a young age, we count with dinosaurs or cars instead of the little teddy bears because that's what they want to count with. I feel education is more successful and children are more excited to learn if they know the why, because they are. After reading the 5 issues in today's schools, I found myself really only agreeing with one thing that he said, and it was about the grading, how he feels students should start out at 0 and for every correct answer work their way up. I feel rewarding good behavior and praising the positive and seeing the progress is better than taking away as they get things wrong. It's kind of reinforcing bad behavior, and I don't feel that does anyone any good. I disagreed with him mainly when he talked about the teachers being in front of the classroom all day and just lecturing. My experience student teaching has taught me that school districts are really finding new ways to put the learning and the responsibility of learning on the children by, for example, the 21st century rotational learning model. I got to be hands-on with that, and I really enjoyed my time doing that. It really did put the responsibility of learning on the kids and kind of made the teacher the reinforcer, which I really liked. And then he also mentioned that school is boring, and I obviously disagree. If it is boring, it's not the school's fault, it's the teacher's fault. It's not the student's fault either. The teacher needs to be sure that he or she is spicing up the school and making it fun for all of her students because learning is fun. I would say, hands down, 100%, out of the 5 guiding principles, passion would be the number 1 most important principle there is. I strongly believe once someone finds their passion, all of those other principles are going to just fall right into place, and they're just going to continue, and it's going to be one big circle. Someone can be really, really good at something, but if they're not passionate about it, they're not going to want to be, they're not going to be curious about it. They're not going to want to use those critical thinking skills, and they're not going to stick with it. So once you find your passion and you know what you want to do, all of those other principles are going to fall right into place and just happen without thinking about it. feel a research learning center would be really cool to have in a classroom. It could be used, I feel, in two different ways. A teacher could utilize this learning center as just a quick reference tool. Excuse me. If there's a new word that comes up within a reading or a small group setting, and children don't know what the word is, the teacher can always have one child go and research it really quick and bring back their findings and let them know, and present their information, so then that holds the child responsible for their own learning, which is super cool. I think a research center also allows children to learn that research can be fun. At this center, the children would be able to research anything they want to on their own time using the materials that they would want. A big reason I feel that research is frowned upon is because it's so structured and children aren't given that, they're not given the freedom to do the research on things that they want to do. And like I said in my previous video, that passion has a lot to do with it. So if we allow children to research something that they have passion for, their research is going to turn out better. And then those times that they do have to research something that's given to them, they are a little bit better at it, even though they don't want to necessarily do it. Budget-wise, and the materials that we would need computers, we would need iPads. To go along with the computers and iPads, we would need subscriptions to databases. We would need applications on the iPads. Headphones would help for any type of audio information that the children may want. We would also need things such as paper, pencil, different materials to allow the children to present their findings from their research, and then obviously tables and chairs. Maybe some flexible seating. I think flexible seating is also cool. It would be somewhere in the classroom. I don't know exactly how I would set it up, but I would want a big, not a huge space, but not just like a little corner. I think it would be a pretty cool vocal focus point of the classroom. I just think this would also help students take control of their own learning and be responsible for their own learning, which is also good. I just want to thank you guys again for giving me this opportunity. I look forward to hearing from you guys, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out on the number that's listed on my resume or send me an email that is also listed on my resume.